Hey everyone, welcome to Otaku Talk. It's me, your boy, your host, OD. And today we're going to be reviewing and analyzing chapter 1021 of One Piece, Demonio. I think that's how it's pronounced anyway. If this is your first time checking out this channel, or you've been here before but haven't done so already, I would greatly appreciate it if you could take the time now to like, subscribe, bang that bell. Would do me such a solid. I've been making videos for pretty much a year now. I can't believe where the time's gone. Thanks to Corona, I've been able to give this content creation thing a shot. I'm getting new subscribers all the time. I really appreciate when you guys talk to me. It makes me super happy. It makes me feel like, I'm getting somewhere. So thank you guys for the people that leave all the nice comments for me. Like it really does mean a lot. So yeah, anyway, without much further ado, let's get into this chapter. I'm super excited to review it. All right, not gonna lie to you guys, I'm super tired. Did not get a lot of sleep last night, but this chapter is all that hype shit. So, I think regardless, I'm still gonna be able to give you guys the energy that this chapter deserves. Once again, chapter 1021, Demonio or Demonio, however you want to pronounce it. So before I get into the chapter, let's talk about the cover art for a second. Won't spend too much time on it. It's Senor Pink and Frankie getting, I believe, a drink together. Honestly, Senor Pink was a really cool character, hard boiled. I think it's actually kind of funny how Robin in this chapter is pretty hard boiled herself. So that was a fitting cover art story for her. I'm actually very curious if we'll ever see Senor Pink again in the story. I really hope so. I've been rereading the chapters and I'm making a list of everyone that I think slash hope we'll see again at the end of the series. So that should be very interesting, right? So I'm actually very happy and excited for the fact that Robin is getting her own fight. Robin's just one of the characters that really hasn't had her own fight, hasn't really had her own time to shine. Like I've talked about in other reviews, her power has always been really straightforward and hard to work with. So I can see why Oda's kind of avoided it. It's pretty much always been either she curb stomps easily or her power is completely like irrelevant to the situation. Robin is one of the Straw Hats we know the least about. Yes, I know we've had flashbacks about her and we know about her childhood, but you have to realize Robin is in her 30s. I think a lot of people sleep on this fact, but Robin is in her 30s. She's lived a lot of life. She's done a lot of things. Yes, we know very little about Zoro. Yes, we know very little about Nami, Brooke, but like in the grand scheme of things, all we really know about Robin is what happened on O'Hara and that she worked for Crocodile for a bit and she knew of the revolutionaries. Like well, not knew of, but we're like we know things here and there. We've gotten her personality traits, but she's been quite a reserved character, and that's fine. That's actually like the entirety of her character and her nature. When she first joins the crew, Usopp interrogates her and he's like, "What is your role?" And she's like, I can assassinate." And like that's literally what she did in this arc. She took on the role of a geisha, infiltrated the Oniwa Banshu, was making clones, was doing really top level espionage shit. And so that's who her character is. But I'm very happy that she's getting dedicated time to herself. We're getting more character development, more character building, and it gives us a chance to really love and care for Robin more so than a lot of us already do. People already love Robin. I'm not gonna be like even get into that. Like she's a really cool character. I've enjoyed her character, but she's always just been like, she's a straw hat. She's someone who's there. Do I hate her? Absolutely not. I think she's a great character, but is she like when I think of my favorite straw hats, she immediately popped to the front? No, and that's just the case with her. Anyway, we've always known very little about her devil fruit as well and its capabilities. I can't even front with you guys. I've always kind of personally hated how when she does her giganto constructs, how it always starts off as like small arms forming a big hand. Like it always looks small and then like merge into. I was like, why is that the case? Why can't you just produce, you know, a a giant arm that wasn't, conceived from smaller arms in the first place? And we've seen several times where she does techniques where she has a big arm and then small arms, and I'm just saying it's kind of weird how a lot of her constructs from her wings to some of her other stuff are multiple body parts stacked or layered together. And I've always wondered, why is that the case when, she can make eyeballs, she can make legs, she can make other body parts. So why does it take why instead of just making a giant arm does it have to be an amalgamation of multiple arms? So like, yeah, her Delphi has definitely been very, very interesting. And we learned two things from this chapter. One, we learned that making giant constructs, especially like the one she did in the beginning of the end of last chapter, the beginning of this chapter, takes a lot out of her. It really wins her. It uses a lot of her devil fruit. So we're starting to see some, limitations. We haven't really seen limitations with her power up till now. So that was really nice to see. Also, another thing we learned in this chapter was that if you damage or hurt Robin's constructs, that in turn hurts her directly. So that was something I was very interested to learn about, and I'm actually like didn't realize that was information that I didn't have that I'm happy to have now. That we're actually learning more and more about Robin and her devil fruit. So I found that to be super cool. Not gonna lie, I was super worried about Robin. Last chapter was dope. She creates this giant version of her, giant hands. I'm thinking, okay, bet Black Maria about to get swatted like a regular spider, bro. Because honestly, at the end of the day, what's the weakness to a bug? These hands, bro. You see a spider walking around, you're gonna stomp on it. I thought like we were gonna get like some funny like spider you know floor spider stomp, and like I know her stuff is named after flowers, but it would just be really funny just because of how how bugs exist in nature and how we typically go to stomp them or slap them or whatever. So I thought Robin's ability was fitting, but Oda really loves to like mess with us. See, I swear to God, no mangaka likes to mess with their audience more than Oda, because literally her this new form, it's not a new form, but we've never seen something like this. This octopus attack, tentacle attack she does was super cool, but it's honestly at the end of the day superfluous. It doesn't really do much. Was actually kind of underwhelming. I was super disappointed because everyone at the end of the last chapter was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I can't wait. And then to be immediately pretty much slapped silly by Black Maria was sad. Black Maria doesn't even like hesitate, doesn't react, isn't scared, isn't shook at all. Literally comes for her, uses her webs, holds her down, finds out immediately, like both the things that we learned in this chapter, she's the one that tells us that, oh, this makes you tired. Oh, if I injure this, it affects you. If I injure your construct, it affects you. Bet. Oh, by the way, like I'm a martial artist, so I love squaring up and fighting. So you just gave me the perfect punching bag because it's bigger, it's easier to hit, it's a way bigger target for me. So you pretty much played yourself, and you just see her going in, beating the living daylight out of Robin's construct to the point where it gets destroyed and turns back into flowers and dissipates, right? Which I'll be real with you, even though we did get the excuse that, the Robin construct was bigger and easier to hit, and it's doing the same purpose because it's injuring Robin, I still felt it was kind of weird and stupid for, there to be the actual Robin within like swinging distance of Black Maria, but Black Maria deciding, nah, I'm just gonna punch on your construct because at the end of the day, it still hurts you. Yes, Robin's still getting injured, but like I just feel like, hey, the person making the construct is right there. Might as well take care of her. So let's just chalk that up to, villain stupidity, the villain wanting, this is Black Maria's probably first chance in a while to actually let loose. They probably don't have that much competition outside of the Topi Rappo and having to compete for that role. So maybe she just wanted to let loose for a while, and that was her excuse, and she wanted to play with her food more or less. But yeah, man. I was super worried about Robin. I'm not even gonna front. I was like, uh-oh. Like, I know that like she'll probably end up winning this, but is it gonna be one of those things by where she's pulling like she wins by, what's the expression? I completely forgot the expression, but like the grit of her teeth or something like that. But Brooke is complete. I was glad Brooke had a panel in this because if he wasn't so nonchalant, like, I wouldn't talk all that shit. You're over here like being like, you know, rude and like demeaning to her, but she need to be running. So I was like, all right, cool. So Robin definitely has something up her sleeve. I was buying it for a little bit. Also, something I was also interested about was if physical pain can transfer, can poison, because we find out that Black Maria Spider is also poisonous, and she was like, "Are you feeling the poison?" And I was wondering if that was more so, are you feeling the pain of the poison, or are you actually being poisoned? I'm going to assume that she was not being poisoned because of how she was able to bounce back later on in the chapter. But that was something interesting I wanted to really explore, right? Also, something else. Since when, and why the fuck can Black Maria's spider spit fire? And speaking of Black Maria's spider, I cannot front, I cannot lie. It is bothering me. It is bothering me tremendously. I've kind of chalked it down to the fact that because this is a spider fruit, like they could have done this weird spider hybrid, but I think Oda decided that it would be cool, it would make a lot more sense, and basically it follows this Japanese folklore ghost story tale of the kind of arachne, half woman half spider thing that's in their lore. If you've watched So What, I'm a Spider, eventually, spoiler alert, the main character of that transforms into a half woman, half spider with the ability to see through and control both halves of her body. So I'm thinking that this is just Oda's take on what a hybrid spider devil fruit would be. My only problem with that is I would be more so okay with it if it was, top of her body and then just literally bottom half is a spider, just that. But the bottom half seems to have its own autonomy. It has eyes, it acts independently of Black Maria sometimes, or supplementary to her. So it's just super confusing, and I don't want this to be something that Oda dangles on for a long time. I really want to know like what's going on with her fruit. Why is she able to do this? Is it just simply the nature of her fruit, or there's more to it? So maybe I might make up some more theories, but I was actually very, very curious about that. Anyway, moving on to the next series of events that happens during this fight, I was super excited for. So, Oda has this really, really amazing, dope way of just showing us the obvious and making us feel like idiots later. I swear to God, every single time something happens that Oda has foreshadowed that he hasn't even really hidden, that has been in our plain view, when it comes to light, I always find it incredibly fascinating. So we've known for a long time, it's been no secret. We've known that Robin has been a member of the Revolutionaries. We've known that. But never in my wildest imagination or dreams did I even consider that she was trained to fight by them, that she learned combat from them, and that there are many other secrets to them. And I love just how perfectly this fits in because Hack, he's a fishman, he's a fishman karate user, he's a fishman jujutsu user. He's also an instructor. So is Koala. She's a human who uses fishman karate, which makes her unique in the first place, and she's an assistant instructor. So it stands to reason that of course that they would teach her these moves. And I feel even more stupid because of the fact that she has been doing clutches, grapples, dislocations this entire series. And I always kind of just chalked it up to that's the best way to use her power. That's the most efficient way she's come to use them. She's an assassin, so like that's the style she's developed. I never once in a blue moon realized that actually the way she utilizes her fruit is because of her fighting style and her knowing jujutsu, because jujutsu would be knowing the locks, the throws, the grapples, and all that dislocation stuff. And so for all that to be based on the fact that she learned fishman jujutsu from Hack in the first place is chef's kiss amazing. Oda does it again. This is why he's such a great mangaka. The way he's able to seamlessly weave things together that make sense within the context, within the balance of the story, is simply phenomenal. And I always have to give him his respect and praise for all that, because that's actually insane. And also it opens up so many doors for more questions and information, because if she knows fishman jujutsu, how much other stuff does she know? Like, for example, in this manga, like, sorry, in this chapter alone, she shows a fishman karate technique. Now we see the flashback and we see that it was because they want her to be able to handle herself, defend herself in danger. So I'm not. They don't really specify if this is the only fishman karate move she's learned, or if she possibly knows more. We had a flashback of when she uses her Gigantomano on the Sunny. So that was apparently a time that she used this move that we weren't aware of, that it was fishman karate. So I'm very curious if she only knows this one singular move, if she knows a bunch of other fishman karate techniques that we may possibly see her use down the road if Black Maria is not taken out yet. And I also want to know if possibly maybe Sabo did teach her a little bit of his I think let's call it Ryuken, Dragon Fist. Maybe Sabo did. So the sky's the limits at this point to what Robin potentially knows. Maybe other revolutionaries taught her some other stuff. I doubt that's the case. I think they're going to keep it within the bounds of fishman karate. But I do think that's super cool that we're not only are we going to get a human using fishman karate, but a human with a double fruit using fishman karate. And what else can we see? Also, something else. I know people might not like shipping and love and whatnot, but I've always noticed that there's been this kind of unspoken relationship between Robin and Jinbei. There seems to be a mutual respect. Robin herself has stated several times that she likes Jinbei, that she enjoys Jinbei's company. You have to realize that outside of Brook, these two are the eldest of the Straw Hats. Even Oda says considers them the mom and dad of the crew. I honestly at this point ship them. I was shipping them a lot earlier. Their flirting is really cute. Their maturity is really cute. They truly understand each other the most out of everyone in the crew, in my opinion. And I just think that her knowing fishman karate just kind of conjoins them a little bit more. I think it just makes that relationship a little bit more solid, more concrete, a little bit more cute. It leaves an avenue for maybe Jinbei to teach her more fishman karate. And honestly, I think it would be really cool if Robin and Jinbei ended up being the first like interspecies fishman human relationship. I think that would do wonders for the world. Now, you've probably seen a couple of if you haven't, I am really like weird about forcing PC shit in shows and like being politically correct and just doing things for representation. But I do think it would be natural, because just of the way that Oda has constantly expressed their like and interest in each other, for them to potentially, consider dating or being together. And I really do think that that would shake the world, a fishman human relationship. Anyway, we see Robin go more badass than we have ever seen her before in the entire series. Demonia. She turns into what looks like a devil. She has horns. She looks like a badass motherfucking bitch, and I love it. Also, something I noticed is you don't see the small Robin around, so I'm wondering if this is some kind of, Attack on Titan situation where Robin is inside her construct in and of itself, controlling it itself. That would be super cool. And I kind of love the juxtaposition of how, like, while she's grappling Black Maria, it almost looks as if she's the spider. Like, it almost looks as if Robin is the one who's the spider, and like Robin is like pretty much the Black Maria, even with the She has like horns kind of similar to Black Maria's, and I found that to be super cool. Now, Black Maria does have the whites of her eyes showing. It does look as though she's passed out, but once again, I don't think any of these fights are really truly done. Out of all the fights, I definitely don't think Jinbei's is done. There is a slight chance. I do think that there is a possibility for Frankie's to be done with Sasaki, but I don't think this one is done mainly because one, why didn't we get to see Black Maria's full Zoan form? I'm a stickler for believing, and you have if you're fighting a Zoan, you have to see all their forms, even like passingly, and we haven't even seen Black Maria's full form, even though the hybrid is supposed to be the strongest, but maybe in her case, maybe in her Devil Fruit's case, that's not the case. And also I want to see a lot more of the capabilities of Robin's fruit. Also, I like the transition from, Robin has always been kind of depicted when she uses her devil fruit as an angel. She constantly would make these wings. She would constantly look angelic, and I just love how like Oda flips it on its head and makes her look demonic as hell, looks tough as hell. This is one. There's many things when I read a manga that I go, I cannot wait for this to be animated. And let me just tell you, this is a portion that I cannot wait for it to be animated. Also, something very interesting. I'm personally going to interpret this as our artistic license, artistic interpretation. But it appears to me as though in the version I read, a fan took the the liberty of coloring the panels, and he made Robin's arms black, and so it kind of makes it look like she's using armament hockey on Black Maria. Now I went back and looked at the regular picture, like pre-colored, and I'm not really seeing any enhanced shading or darkening or anything that looks like armament hockey. So I really just feel like the artist kind of took his time there. I mean, not took his time there. Just subjected it to his own interpretation. But I would be very interested to discover if Robin has hockey. I'm one of the people that do believe that I would love all of the Straw Hats at some point in this story to develop hockey. Also, speaking of Black Maria, I just want to make this point clear. I just want to clear up something I said last week that made me, well, not last week. Yeah, last week that made me feel like a complete idiot. I was literally just talking about how the hell her spider can produce fire. So anyway, I was confused about something last chapter. I thought that her Wanyudo was a weapon that was fed a smile fruit. But no, it's a weapon in and of itself, and then a man was fed the pug fruit, and then the man was forced to like operate inside the weapon. So it's a whole thing. But I feel super dumb realizing that, oh no, it's not a weapon that was fused with the smile fruit. It's just purely like some dude running in a weapon that she's actively wielding. So that's a little bit weird. I honestly think that's a little bit weirder and crazier than my initial theory, but I want to clear that up because after like I was watching someone's review and I was like, oh yeah, I'm dumb. I'm really dumb. So sorry about that. That was not the case with that. All right, so after that fight takes place, the servants, disciples of Black Maria hear her scream, which I also cannot wait for that to be animated because it really does seem like Robin put the work on Black Maria. Once again, though, these are all ancient Zoans, and we have seen that they have tremendous recovery time, and the ability to bounce back. So we don't know if they're actually down for the count, but Brooke easily dispatches of the three of her squad, including one of the numbers, with this orchestra move. I'm gonna be super real with you. I'm super dissatisfied. I don't want to see Brooke beat fodder. Just like I was happy for Robin to have a big fight, I want Brooke to have a big fight. Brooke has not had a big, impactful, major fight since he fought Ryuma all the way back in the Moria arc, Thriller Bark, on that saga when we first met Brooke. Yeah, that was the last time Brooke had any kind of significant 1v1. There was the time he fought, what's his name, Zio on Fishman Island, but that wasn't a particularly big fight. Brook pretty much ended that in one slash. I really want to see Brook pushed again. I really want to see him come out on top. I want to give him a 101 just like the rest of them are getting. I hope he gets one. I think it was Tekking or Sawyer 7 that was talking about it, but they were like, they would like to see him fight against Apu somehow. I would love that. Musician against musician. That would be beautiful. Maybe Brook with his trained musician ear and his ability to use magic. Magic. Music can, maybe cancel out the sound waves that Apu creates. Maybe he can kind of have, really adept hearing. So when Apu sends a noise blast or something his way, Brook knowing music and how music flows and all that stuff, just being super familiar with it, can easily dodge it and avoid it. I am super hyped, stoked for this fight. I actually think I said I wanted this fight a lot earlier because they're musicians. So I would be super hyped. Please, Oda, don't leave me hanging. Let us have a Brook versus Apu fight. Let him showcase his ability to actually be more than a fodder killer. Anyway, next up, my boy Luffy is back at it and he is eating. Last chapter he was complaining about needing more meat, and I completely did not think about this. Shout out to Tekking 101, one of the OG goats when it comes to this One Piece YouTube shit. And he called in his last video that, because of his swamp fruit, he has the ability to hold store infinite amounts of food within his body, right? So he called that, hey, there might, he might have just a bunch of meat in there. And that's exactly what happened. So that was very clutch, very clean. And I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm actually wondering how this will impact the future of the story because, Caribou has a right to claim, hey, like, I helped you out. You kind of owe me. You ate me out of house and home. You ate my entire stockpile of food. Can I work for you? I definitely see Caribou possibly becoming a new Straw Hat Fleet candidate, possibly because you have to remember at the beginning of not the series, but the New World arc, he joined the fake Straw Hats. He legitimately joined. He legitimately tried to join. He legitimately tried to join the Straw Hat crew, albeit it was to, destroy them from the inside. But I feel like so much has transpired and so much has happened that he would be a fool. He would be foolish to try to, overthrow Luffy. I think at this point he knows just how strong and vital Luffy is. But yeah, I feel like Oda has kept Caribou around long enough for us to know as the readers that he's going to play some kind of vital monumental role in all of this. I don't think Oda just left him around to leave him around. He owes Luffy because if it wasn't for Luffy, he'd still be in the Udon prison or the Udon prison, and Luffy now is going to owe him because without him, he wouldn't have been able to eat his fill and recover. So also there's the whole fact that he knows that Shirahoshi is Pluton, Uranus, Poseidon. Yeah, Poseidon. Sorry, because her dad's Neptune. So I really do think that plot point is going to come back. Anyway, the last thing I want to talk about. Oh, actually, I'm not going to get there yet. The Heart Pirates are asking Luffy about Law. Luffy is completely just in his own world. He's like, I'm eating right now. Couldn't really read the first thing he said, but I kind of got the gist of the second that he's gonna go and beat Kaido, so that was funny. But I just think it's funny that they're like, hey, how's our captain? And Luffy's like, don't worry about it, I'm gonna beat Kaido. Is like, that's cool, but we want to know, is Law good? Where's Beppo, by the way? Where's Beppo's crew? So I'll be really concerned about that too, especially the fact that they had to fish you out of water, you were drowning. So they're like, if this happened to you, what happened to our captain and stuff? Anyway, the end of this chapter is something that people have been speculating for a long time now. Now, I had always just assumed that Shinobu's ripe fruit only worked on inanimate, inorganic objects. Why is that? Well, that's just, well, one, because that's all we've ever seen her use it on, but also the freaking One Piece wiki says that it does. And so I always kind of assumed that, it worked on inorganic objects to kind of make it different from Jory Bonnie's fruit that can freely age people up and down, doesn't matter. And that worked on, people in general, both her and people outside of herself, right? And so one thing I've always noticed Oda tries to do is he tries to, within reason, keep similar devil fruit abilities from commingling, unless there's a way in which you can use your devil fruit to replicate another power. So I figure, hey, if there already exists a devil fruit that can age people up and down, then it stands to reason that Shinobu's wouldn't, right? But I think Oda decided to go more along the route of, hey, my thing ages everything, but I can't freely control the aging. It only ages in one direction. I can only make things get older. I can only make things ripen. I can only make things mature. And I even wrote down, Shinobu specifically in the, do I have it? Oh yeah, Shinobu specifically says it matures things. It never once did it stipulate inorganic or inanimate objects. So I was actually kind of mad at the wiki and like, why did you guys have that? Because I feel like for a lot of us, the wiki is our quick go-to reference to get a lot of information about us, get a lot of information, concise information, and pinpoint information on a lot of stuff that happens in One Piece. But at the end of the day, it's always best to go back and read the source material, which I did, and realize, okay, so this is not out of the bounds of what is possible. Also, I always thought that this was something that Joribani would do. I said I'll go check my earlier reviews. I always said that it was possible for Joribani to show up, age both Otama and Momo. Yeah, I said Otama too, because you have to realize, not just Momo, but Otama wanted to fight, but she was too small. The same reason that Ace couldn't take her initially on his adventure was because she was too small. So they both wanted to age, they both wanted to grow. So I figured they would do that. I also heard some kind of rumor, don't even know where it started from, that Basil Hawkins has some ability with his tarot cards where he can unlock someone's potential. So I thought we would have like a Hunter x Hunter type of moment where, Juribani ages them up, and Basil Hawkins does whatever tarot card reading thing he does, and also gives them the potential. So they have the physical body, and then they have the potential that their physical body would wield. For anyone wondering why would Joribani be here, well, you have to realize she's tied to the Revolutionary Army. We're getting a lot of information about the Reverie. Something happened with Sabo. Vivi got kidnapped, and so we have she's tied to the Revolutionary Army via Kuma. So I'm thinking maybe hand in hand, she comes over here to help them because the Revolutionary Army. I've been talking about this forever, time and time again. Liquor, iron ore. There's a lot of connections, so there was a chance that she could show up here and do these things, but it does not look like that is the case. But honestly, I'll be real with you. Knowing Oda, Shinobu may not actually be able to age him up. Oda loves rickrolling us. He loves trolling us. And so this could just be another example of Oda going, this is what people think is going to happen, but this is what I'm actually going to do. And I'm going to be real with you. I actually prefer when he does what he wants to do because it's usually typically very good and it's clever in how it goes. And even though I love it, even though I hate it, I also love like how efficiently he's able to troll us, because he doesn't do it in a bad way where we're disappointed. He does it in a way where we're very shocked and surprised and elated to be tricked. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the review here for now. Oh, actually no. One thing I want to say is I'm very curious what's going to happen to Momo. Shinobu expressively makes it clear that, hey, this is only going to make you physically bigger and stronger. It's not going to make you mentally. It's not going to mature. Your heart is still going to be the same. So I'm wondering how they're going to handle that. Once again, back to the Basil Hawkins thing, if that is ability he actually wields. But honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, I don't think that's gonna happen at all. The whole point of him growing apparently is so he can be a bigger dragon. I think that we saw earlier last time Luffy tried to ride him, he was exhausted. I think it was too much weight for him. So maybe as an adult, he'll be a bigger dragon. He'll have access to more power. We see in one of the panels Onigashima looming over. We still don't know how that's going to play into the plot. If it's going to be dropped, if it's going to kill people, if it's going to crush, if it's going to be you make giant tsunamis and waves. So I'm thinking, maybe as an adult dragon, maybe Momo can create clouds that keep Onigashima afloat if Kaido does decide to drop it. I also said earlier, I made that parallel with Luffy and the Noah, where he almost broke the Noah. What would be a step up from that? Breaking Onigashima. I'm really hoping we have a callback where when Luffy defeats Kaido, Kaido falls down from Onigashima right into the Fire Festival, and everyone sees Kaido's defeat, because I say this a million times. Luffy, like, it's not just enough to defeat the bad guy. People have to witness it. People have to see it for their own eyes. It's not just enough to say, oh, Luffy defeated Kaido. So I'm waiting for a big moment like that that's kind of reminiscent of when Kaido jumped off of that Sky Island. So there's a lot of things at play here. There's a lot of things at work here that I'm super excited for and ecstatic about. Anyway, that has been my review and analysis of chapter 1021. I'm super excited. I believe that there's a break next week. Sad face. I really need to start getting all my concept videos. So look forward to that. But yeah, guys, what did you think about this chapter? What did you think about Demon Mode Robin? Do you think Black Maria is out for the count? Are you excited? Are you excited to see the other fights? Do you want to move on? Do you want to see Brook fight? Are you one of the people that are you content with what he contributed now, or do you want to see more from him? And yeah, are you excited to see Luffy get back to the fight? Do you think Shinobu will be able to age? She'll be able to age Momo up. And yeah, I think I will leave that all here for now. Please like, share, and subscribe. Would mean the world to me. Join my League of Otaku. Anyway, have a great day. Take care. Peace.